All right. We're live. Right. Welcome. Welcome to the pre-stream. That thing you watch before you watch that other thing. My name's Thermo, and we're here to talk about the newsy stuff from the week. From Lawtube to Lolcows, from 4chan to Forbes. We'll have a look back at the past week and hopefully have a bit of a laugh. So to get us started, we'll have a look at some of the smaller stories, I guess. Though not really. There are no small stories. Is this going to be good? I
doubt it.
But we'll see. We'll give it a go. Our first story is this thing that made me so sad. Blizzard ruining what is by all accounts a halfway decent game just to snag some whales. So yeah, Diablo Immortal I guess launched the second time. I know they did like a rollout in Asia, of course, where all the whales live. But yeah, it'll cost $100,000 to max out a character, thanks to their ridiculous gem system. I don't know what to say about that. That's the most, like, I've mini whaled some games before, but holy shit, $100,000 for one character. That's obscene. So yeah, so you have to pay about 110,000 US to fully upgrade your character. Bellula, I don't know how to say his name. Michael from Bellula Gaming. He did some really good videos this week about what's actually involved and broke it down. Originally based on a Reddit post, but he dove a lot deeper with his colleague, and it comes down to fundamentally the legendary gems. And the way it works is the legendary gems essentially only drop when you use legendary crests. So there's a ridiculous. There are 3 different types of gems, really. So they're all legendary gems that'll only drop if you use a crest. And then there's 2 different types of crests. They make this shit like intentionally confusing, so that you can't really wrap your head around how it all works. And it's really intentional. And the way they use psychology to manipulate people into making purchases, it really is disgusting. But I digress. So you have rare crests and you have legendary crests, and the rare crests you'll get a ton of. They're free, and when you slot a rare crest in a challenge rift, every rare crest you slot will get you 3 gems at the end. We'll get you a legendary gem at the end. But the rare crests will only drop gems that are 1-star or 2-star. If you pay for the legendary crests and slot those in, each legendary crest gives you a chance to not only drop a 1-star or a 2-star, it also has a chance. Oh no, actually no. It doesn't drop the plain 1-stars. It'll drop 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, or 5 out of 5 legendary gems. But again, this is another layer of confusing. So the gems that drop from the rare crests can't be upgraded. They can be dismantled to turn into resources that you can use to upgrade the upgradable ones that only come from legendary crests. Like, it's incredible. It's so. They took what appears to be a good game with arguably decent gameplay and turned it into a fucking horrible gacha game. Yes. Compounded nonsense. Absolutely. Welcome. So, and here we go. Here's the here's the other thing. So they will advertise packs that you can buy, and they'll say shit like 800 plus 800% value. And that's like, it'll come with an amount of currency. So it'll come with like, it'll cost you, I think $1.39 Canadian, or like probably the same Australian, or $1 US. And they'll say, oh, 800% value. And it'll come with 30 of the premium currency. And then it'll come with an outfit or a cosmetic, like a weapons transmog. And they pretend that 800% value is because of the worth of the transmog. Like it's arbitrary and predatory. And I don't know why we should have expected better from Blizzard, but like, and I think their partner in this is NetEase as well. So fuck. Yes. So the game director is worried about misinformation, because everybody's worried about misinformation now. So his argument that this is misinformation, like that the misinformation is floating around, it's because people are saying, oh, these legendary gems, it's essentially buying gear. It's pay to win. It's pay to win. Well, and it is. It's 100% pay to win. But he said, 4 months ago, he said, oh, no, you can't buy gear. And yeah, well, he's not lying. You can't directly buy gear. But you can buy gems essentially and make your life easier to get more powerful, to get gear easier. Like, it's a distinction without a difference. So this is his post. He said, I normally lurk here on Diablo. I like reading the feedback and taking the hot topics of the day. I think a reality check is warranted here. Almost all the facts presented in this post are fabricated. In Diablo Immortal, there's no way to acquire or rank up gear using money. There's no 50-50 system on rank upgrades. The links cited as proof do not link to proof of the assertions at all. You can choose from a variety of skin tones, including this is because someone was like, oh my god, you can't, like, you can have black characters, like they're not black enough. Usual bullshit. So in addition to all this predatory crap, they have fucking hidden caps. They literally have hidden caps on how high you can level and how fast you can get there. Now, some of those caps have to do with their Paragon catch-up mechanics. So if anybody's played Diablo, you understand that when you get to endgame, there's an additional endgame where you keep playing and you unlock Paragon level. The Paragon level in this is fucking weird. Well, it locks down the levels you can get, like the tiers of hell you can get into. So you've got to be Paragon level 30 to unlock Hell 2, where the gear gets better. It's, if you play Diablo 3, like it's I don't know what the hell they're thinking. But yeah, in addition to that, there are grind gates that slow down the grind based around the blacksmith level. So you can't upgrade your gear level. I need to sit down and play it, because by all accounts, this is a good game. By all accounts, this is actually a good game. I have it installed. I just haven't had time to play it yet. But it's just once you get higher up, it starts to get harder to actually play and level up. And once that starts to happen, the game slows down and starts to give you these, starts to squeeze you for the cash. But yeah, so the players have found hidden caps. So in the gameplay, there are additional hidden caps. So after 6 legendary drops in a day, your drop rate will severely decrease for the rest of the day. So that's legendary gear drops. So after a group bonus for 6 normal gems a day, your drop rate will severely decrease. So when you play in groups, there's a bonus that applies to increase the drop rate of gems. I think this also applies to, so yeah. Side quests stop giving rewards after 5 per day. That's insane. Purple bosses stop giving rewards after 5 per day. And again, this is the stuff we've come to expect from mobile games. Just because it's how they train you to come back day after day. And once you train that habit, you've got them. You've got them hooked. They'll be back every day to check in and spend money. Because people who are playing every day are far more likely to spend money on your game. And something like 50% of the returns on these games come from like 2 to 3% of the whales in the games. Like that's staggering. Like absolutely staggering. And I understand. Like I've spent money on games before. Like, and I look back and I'm like, oh wow, really? Like what a waste of money. Like what an absolute waste of money. And you rationalize it to yourself. Like you rationalize it to yourself by saying, oh look, it's the only game I play and blah 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 blah. But yeah, it's shit. It's shit. They manipulate psychology in exactly the same way that poker machines do. And it's if this is where games are headed, then yeah, I don't know what to say.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
So yeah. Anyway, continuing. So random map events may stop giving rewards after 5 per day. Resulting cool treasure rooms are limited to 5 per day, and hidden lair dungeons stop giving gem rewards after just a few completed sections. Like, how hard are they going to fucking squeeze players, man? Like, seriously. But it's okay. It's okay. Diablo Immortal's been downloaded 10 million times. Fuck. And of course it was. Like, of course it was going to get downloaded. A massive amount. Like, everybody was going to play it. Like, I'm going to play it. I hate this fucking type of gacha games. I'm going to play it. I'm not going to spend any money on it. And I don't think you should either. I think you should play until it asks you for money, and then I think you should uninstall it. So, yeah. Terrible. I really wish they hadn't fucked it up. But yeah. It doesn't bode well for Diablo 4 if this is the route they're taking. Because you can bet your ass, if they make enough money off this, the head honchos are going to say, okay, let's see if we can do this in Diablo 4 as well. So, fantastic. On to our next story. I mean, we've all heard it. YouTube jumping in front of the bullet for Quantum TV. So yeah, Actman, obviously. If you haven't heard this, I would suggest you go and watch Moist Critical, Charlie's video on this. It's good. It gives a good rundown. I don't want to spend too long on this. Like, this is one of those stories that is just everywhere this week. I've tweeted about it. Like, everybody's fucking tweeted about it. Oh my god. So, but yeah, so Actman has been completely demonetized, removed from the partner program. So his channel is essentially just a hobby channel now. And the reason they gave for it was because he threatened to dox YouTube staff, which is retarded because he was clearly being funny. Like, it was clearly satire. He was... but I don't expect reviewers to ever understand satire. And it's extended further. Basically, anybody who really talks about this, we'll get a copyright. We'll get demonetized. We'll get basically anybody who mentions the Ackman stuff in their stream and mentions some TV will essentially be demonetized. Look, I don't know. I don't really care. Go for it, YouTube. I'm not monetized in the first place, so fuck off. What are you going to do and take away my not monetization? So yeah, there's that. I don't see that being resolved this week, or next week. YouTube's basically taken the line that nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. No problems. Just yeah. So I really do think YouTube's done this to themselves.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So yeah. Next story. Jeez, I'm blowing through these. Next story is, of course, the brutal racists are out there review bombing Kenobi. Can you believe that? These brutal racists out there review bombing Obi-Wan. Terrible. And he's not even black. So I watched the first 5 minutes when this started and had to turn it off. And I thought, no, look, that's not fair. If I'm going to talk about this, I need to actually watch it. So I sat down and watched all 4 episodes that are out back to back. Oh my God. So at first I thought the lead actress, what's her name? She plays Reva, the third sister. What's her name? Moses Ingram. So at first I thought, no, she's a perfectly fine she's a fine actress. Like, she's perfectly capable. This is just some shithouse writing with some shithouse dialogue and probably some bad direction. And look, that's what we've come to expect from Star Wars and Disney Plus. And I thought, look, maybe it'll get better, but
I doubt it.
So it didn't get better. It's not just the writers. She's not very good. I don't know if it's a experience thing, but she's been in a few things. I'd have to watch Queen's Gambit to confirm. Because I mean, look, if you're in one show and your performance is shit, like if there's a shit actor in one show or movie, and you're like, wow, that actor is really shit, go and watch something else they've been in. See if they're good in that. If they're good in that, you have your answer. It's not that they're a shit actress or actor. It's that the writer or the director is shit. And I swear to God, writers and directors in Hollywood now, I don't know what's going on. They're fucking terrible. So yes, but it's the racists. It's the racists. It's not that they don't like the character. The character is fine. The character is written fine. It's that they don't like the actress because she's black. That's ridiculous. No, they don't like this character. They don't like this portrayal because it's just terrible. Like, I understand. So it's set 10 years after the end of Revenge of the Sith. So 10 years after the Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan is obviously on Tatooine, being a creepy stalker over Luke, leaving him toys, that kind of deal. Owen, his uncle, obviously doesn't like this and confronts Obi-Wan about it. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Luke isn't important to the story. Luke's just the reason he's there. So they introduce Leia. Leia gets kidnapped, and of course, her father contacts him and says, "You have to help." What? Okay, that makes sense. Hey man, how's it going? So anyway, Obi-Wan is convinced to go and rescue Leia, who has been kidnapped by the the third sister, who has a fucking hard-on for Obi-Wan that hasn't been explained by episode 4. I would have thought there would be a flashback to kind of explain why she has such a massive hard-on for Obi-Wan, but I don't know. There's 3 episodes left, maybe 2 episodes left. I don't know if they're doing a 7 or a 6, but there's only a couple episodes left and it still hasn't been explained. So anyway, she kidnapped Leia because somehow she figured out that if she kidnapped Leia, Leia's father would contact Obi-Wan and get him to come and help, like come and get her. It's like, okay. And of course, he comes and saves her. But I don't understand. Leia has no existing relationship with Obi-Wan. Like, have these people not seen A New Hope? Like, it's been a while since I've seen A New Hope, but I'm pretty sure it's not indicated that she knows him at all. All she knows is that you fought with my father during the Clone Wars. Not, hey, you rescued me that time when I was kidnapped. So, yeah, it's another case of, okay, I guess you could just write it off and say, okay, that's fine. But, anyway, so Obi-Wan, bad with the Force. The Force has left him. He occasionally prays to try to speak to Qui-Gon. It's just not happening. So this is really hard. Just because, like, I enjoyed Star Wars. I really did. I liked The Mandalorian. I thought it was good. The first season was good. The second season was okay. I got 2 episodes into Boba Fett and it's still sitting there, like, unplayed. So I don't know how that ends, but I guess I don't really care. Like, this sucks. This sucks. Like, I'm more of a Star Trek fan than I am a Star Wars fan. Sorry, go ahead and hit dislike. But how do you ruin this? Like, how do you fuck this up? Like, how do you screw this up? Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's a good question. And Yoda tells Obi-Wan that the quite dead Qui-Gon learned how to be a Force ghost, but how did Obi-Wan learn? Presumably, Qui-Gon teaches Obi-Wan, but who the fuck knows? Just another giant plot hole. And look, in a movie, that's fine. We don't need to know how it all works. But if you've got a series like this, you've got to do something with it. You've got to do something interesting with it. I think the mistake they made is they jumped too far ahead. They should have picked up almost immediately where they left off. It should have been, okay, I've left Luke with the kids, and then I've left Leia with the Organas. I've left Luke with his uncle and aunt. Let's go. Let's pick up from there. Let's see him try to adjust. Let's see him bury his lightsaber in the fucking desert. Let's see him adjust to this normal life. Let's see him struggle to not expose himself when he sees injustice go on. Because that's the thing with the Jedis. The thing with the Jedis is that they show themselves. They out themselves. All you have to do is be a bastard to someone, and a Jedi will come along and stop you. Which, look, that's fair enough. I liked that. I like that idea, but yeah, I don't see this getting any better. Oh, and the one thing that really stuck in my craw. So there's an encounter where the third sister is on the roof, and spoilers, of course. Nobody, like, if you've not watched it by now, you're not going to watch it. But there's an encounter on the roof with the third sister who corners Obi-Wan, but not really. And she says something that I was immediately scratching my head over. she says to Obi-Wan, like, I know you're there, I know you're there. He's alive, like Anakin's alive. She flat out says Anakin Skywalker lives, like, and Obi-Wan has a PTSD attack. Which, look, that's fine. I didn't mind that. But the fact that she knows that Vader is Anakin Skywalker, there's been no indication that that's the case. And the Skywalker name still exists. So Owen and Beru Skywalker are Luke's aunt and uncle. He's not living incognito. So if she knows Anakin Skywalker is Lord Vader, why the fuck wouldn't she just go, find me all the Skywalkers? Do you know a Skywalker? Oh, there we go. Found one. It's that kind of laziness. They don't put in the effort, and it's the same with Star Trek. I don't know if it's a complete and utter disregard for that which came before. They want to make it their own, so they just what's the what's the line from the new Star Wars films? Kill the past, let it die, and that sums up what these people do to existing IP. I feel like it should have been a season finale moment. Ideally, use the first season to illustrate Obi's adjustment to normal life. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, exactly. And then say Anakin's still alive. Absolutely. You end a season with that, and it's like, and honestly, fuck, he has to know. He has to know Vader exists. He knows Vader exists. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, he hasn't had his head buried into sand. He knows what's going on in the world. So he knows there's a Lord Vader out there. He knows that that's the Emperor's apprentice. So, of course, you put two and two together. Oh, this other Sith who's, you know, stuck in an outfit that you never see his face, who's just shown up suddenly after I've cut off the arms and legs of my Padawan. Suddenly there's a new Sith Lord who's really powerful in the Force. Oh, who might that be? It's you have to pretend that everybody is an idiot, and it's so frustrating. Like, I can't. I will watch it. I will watch it. I'm not going to pay for it, but I will watch it. But it's just, it's so hard. Really, it's so hard. We don't have. Oh, that's right. So yes, apparently, it's being review bombed by racists because the audience doesn't like it. So let's have a look at some of the audience reviews. Bad acting, bad trauma. The history have a lot of errors. Okay. Me fail English. Too much filler and overall inconsistent tone. Needs to be darker, in my honest opinion. Also, writing was all over the place. See, this is a 2-star. How is that? That's not unfair. This is not This is not a review bomb. This is not an unfair. This is not an unfair point. I don't know that it needs to be darker. I think you can't shy away from cutting people's, like, from the violence. If you're going to show, you know, this brutal empire just coming in, and also that would have been way more interesting. It would have been way more interesting to see from Obi-Wan's perspective, and maybe another character's perspective, someone looking for Obi-Wan, of how the Empire rises. How we go from, hey, there's a republic and there's a Senate, and we've given these powers to the Emperor, and Order 66 happens, and then everybody's like, wait, what the fuck? What's happening to the Jedi? There would be weird shit going on. There would be interesting stuff happening that you could do stuff with. But now that I think about it, These people couldn't. There's no way these people could execute anything remotely close to interesting in that time period. Because they'd just fuck it up. It would be two-dimensional, or even worse, they would pull a Star Trek and they would inject current politics into a galaxy far, far away. Like, you would have Jedi Lives Matter protests. Obi-Wan for the movies and cartoons is such a good character. Agreed. Series of disaster. Agreed. It's like the Obi-Wan version of Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy. I think Rian Johnson gets a bad rap. Like, I know everybody hated The Last Jedi. Yeah, the second one, The Last Jedi. Everybody hated that. But the man tried something. He tried something different. Like, there's some cringe shit in there. Like Leia Poppins. But he at least tried something. He tried something different. The idea that Rey was no one, that was a good idea. That was a very good idea. And then Jar Jar comes back in for the final film and go, no. She's not nobody. I was just messing with you. I was just messing with you. She's not nobody. She's super duper important. She's the Emperor's daughter. Like, granddaughter. Like, what? That makes no sense. Like, no sense at all. Terrible. But yes, Rian Johnson gets a bad rap. Kathleen Kennedy, I don't know what she's doing. Is her whole idea to tank this thing? Paul Hayden Christensen, he said he watched Clone Wars and Rebels. Seems like the directors didn't watch or just ignored the sources. Also poor direction. Yes, agreed. That's not... This is accurate. This is someone who watched enough of it to be able to put an opinion in, and they don't like it. Too many plot holes. Yes. Show doesn't even follow already established canon. Yes. Most believable character in the series is probably Uncle Owen. Yes. Yes, it's Uncle Owen. Really terrible writing. See, this person's given it 1.5 stars. Really terrible writing. Example, the last episode 4, the Snowspeeders arrive to save the day. 1 lands and picks up 3 of our characters. Minor problem, Snowspeeders only have 2 seats. Yes, this is correct. I honestly thought as the Snowspeeder moved away, and they're not Snowspeeders, like, they're speeders, but whatever. As the speeder went away, I swear to God, I thought it was going to fly into space. Thankfully, they didn't. That would have been like, oh my God, really? This show's ruined characters that everyone has fallen in love with. The story is horrible alongside new characters. All right, let's have a look at this 5-star one. After all this years, it's wonderful to get the link between the old and the new movies. The best part, that exists! That exists! Clone Wars and Rebels, goddammit! The best part is they're also linking... Oh my God. I just can't understand how the fans are being so toxic to something so well done. Oh my God, it's so good. Jesus. Start slow. I will tell you, the one thing I enjoyed, by episode 4, Obi-Wan gets his groove back. Like, there's a particularly good scene inside a base where he's fighting stormtroopers. He's got his lightsaber out, kicking ass, and as the fight progresses, you can see him becoming better and better and better. You can see him getting better with the lightsaber. He starts knocking the bolts straight back at them instead of just deflecting them away. To the point, and then there's a point where he just force holds something fancy and then uses his lightsaber to deflect blasts as well. And it's done really well. Do I think that's going to continue? No, I don't. And yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it getting any better in any way, shape, or form. On the flip side, now they're saying Ms. Marvel's being review bombed. Why does this feel familiar? But it's not being review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, why aren't they saying it's being review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes? Being review bombed on IMDb, that's weird. Who gives a shit about IMDb? Funny. This one says it's amazing. Okay. Was a 10 out of 10? 10 out of 10. This one's a 4 out of 10. Whatever. But who cares? Who the fuck reads IMDb? Oh, what's up with their eyes? It's the power she has, which doesn't come from her being a mutant or an inhuman. It comes from a bracelet she puts on that her grandmother sends her. I think it's something to do with like the Shang-Chi stuff. I think it'll end up being people like her don't necessarily have like their descendants of Inhumans, and so they can use this technology. It's probably why it's why at the end of Shang-Chi, if anybody watched it and watched the post-credit scene, Wong shows up and says, "Oh, this isn't like these 10 rings. They're alien technology." And I think we'll find that her bracelet is the same, and that people with special people with these special genes, these inhuman genes, can use that technology. Dude, the last Marvel movie you saw was Endgame and you hated it? You didn't see? Like, really? You hated it? My God. Well, you're going to be disappointed. So, average audience score, 84. That's why they're not talking about it being review bombed over at Rotten Tomatoes, because it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's not aimed at everybody. Like, absolutely, it's not aimed at everybody. The actress is great. The actress does a great job. I enjoyed this. I legitimately laughed. There were some. I've only watched the first episode. Reviewers, like official reviews. Honestly, the critic scores, these are worthless now. These are if the show is led by a white person or doesn't have any diversity in it, maybe the critic score can be believed. But if there's any diversity, then these critics will do whatever they have to avoid being cancelled. I really do think that. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, audience score 84%. I agree. I agree. I didn't mind this, and that's actually gone up. When I made this last night, it was 83%. It's gone up another percent. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Miss Marvel. I've only seen the first episode. It may get better. It may not. I know you're all saying.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
I know. Something ain't right. So far, I haven't super enjoyed all like the Disney Plus stuff, the Marvel Disney Plus stuff. But yeah, this isn't bad. I don't think it's targeted to my demographic. Mid to late 40s. It's not necessarily for me. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. That may come as a surprise to many of you, but I didn't hate it. The show is absolutely awful. Yeah, look, I understand some people like this is weird. Who the fuck does this? 3.5 stars, nice, but not as good as Loki and Moon Knight. What? You think Loki and Moon Knight are better? I thought Moon Knight was okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to get cancelled. That was always almost a certainty. The question is by whom will I be cancelled? I swear to God, if Lofty is like, oh, I loved Miss Marvel, it was great. Oh, I'm gonna have to consider self-cancellation. Yeah. So, but honestly, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed parts of it. I can see it's going to be it could go either way. It really could. Thermopixels, yeah, thank you. No, but yeah, I will give it a chance. Like I said, I like the first episode. Most people have only seen the first episode, so powered by humor and high energy. It is very much targeted to a younger demographic. So yeah. So yes, from one attempted cancellation to another attempted cancellation. This time of a Supreme Court justice. So of course, Justice Kavanaugh had a house guest this week, a lunatic from Simi Valley, California, decided to travel across the country and introduce himself to the justice, and it didn't go well for him. He look, this guy has to be crazy, like full on. So rocked up with a pistol, a knife, and other weapons. Dressed in black and carrying a suitcase. Oh, a suitcase and a backpack, according to a federal affidavit. Inside the suitcase and backpack, authorities later discovered a black tactical chest rig and tactical knife, pistol with two magazines, and ammunition. Well, I would hope the magazines had ammunition. Pepper spray, zip ties, a hammer, a screwdriver, a nail punch. Was he going to renovate? Was he going to renovate this place? A crowbar, a pistol light, and a duct tape. In addition to other items, what are the other items? His plan was to break into the house, kill the justice, and then kill himself. This, of course, is being taken very seriously. I think he had a Glock 17, so those will be banned soon. Yes, maybe he was cosplaying as MacGyver. I don't know that MacGyver would take a gun, though. And of course, there is AOC is keen to use this to block the SCOTUS security bill, which is totally unnecessary. Why would you need additional security for Supreme Court justices at all? Like that's insanity. Why would you need that? So yes, that's probably going to be a thing next week. Though the papers, to be believed, not really. I think most of them had it on like A20. Halfway through the paper. So speaking of, actually no, that's what was next. Some good news. Camille has made partner. Johnny Depp's lawyer, everybody's lawyer really, has made partner. She's getting a promotion. So congrats to Camille, everybody's favorite lawyer. Well done. On to a little bit more Depp stuff. Not too much, don't worry. Of course, everyone's favorite millennial, everyone's favorite 60-year-old millennial, Taylor Lorenz, wrote a story early last week, about YouTubers making bank off the Heard trial and lied about contacting them. Oh, I'm sorry, she didn't lie about contacting them. It was her editor's fault. It was totally not her fault. She didn't do nothing. Didn't do nothing wrong. But, oh, God damn you, archive. Pain in the ass. Go to the damn page. So yeah, she says, my millennial white girl voice. Last Thursday, an incorrect line was added to story of mine. God, I can't do this. Before publishing due to a miscommunication with an editor. So of course, it's not her fault. It's not her fault at all. No, it would never be her fault. Taylor Lorenz couldn't possibly have done anything wrong. It was the editor that done it. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm a journalist, which, strictly speaking, Taylor Lorenz isn't she's a columnist, but she pretends to be a journalist. If I'm writing a story, right? If I'm writing a story for Washington Post, which would never happen. Touch wood. I'm writing a story for Washington Post. I'm not going to contact sources. I'm not going to verify facts. I'm just going to write it and expect my fucking editor to do it. What universe does this woman live in? I mean, this woman is 60 years old. I mean, how do you live 65 years on this earth and not know how to do this stuff? Like, Jesus. So, speaking of this place, like the fucking Washington Post being an absolute dumpster fire. This happened this week. I don't understand. This is a funny tweet. So Dave Weigel is, I think he's like a national politics reporter for the Washington Post. So he retweeted this. He obviously thought it was funny. Every girl is bi. You just have to figure out if it's polar or sexual. I would add itch to the end. But yeah, funny joke. Yeah, little bit cringy, a little bit sexist, I guess. But yeah, so it didn't go over too well. His colleague at the Washington Post, who works on exactly the same beat, Alicia Sonmez, retweeted it and said, yeah, fantastic to work at a news outlet where retweets like this are allowed. Yes, Lorenz exists to red pill many people on the media. So yes, she had a bit of a tizzy about this and then spent the rest of the fucking week bitching and moaning about the Post and the people who work at the Post. Like, I shit you not. This went on a whole week. Like, I went through her Twitter timeline when it was happening. Like, I saw it when it was happening, and then I went through it yesterday just to pull all this stuff together. And this blew my mind. So I don't know who the colleagues anonymously disparaging me in the media reports are, but I do know that the reporters who issued synchronized tweets this week downplaying the Post's workplace issues. So essentially, this shit comes out. Dave Weigel gets gets suspended. So he gets suspended without pay for a month as punishment for his mean tweet. Naughty. Bad Dave. Bad Dave. No sexist tweets. So he gets a smack on the wrist for a month. And honestly, a month without pay, that sounds pretty serious to me. Like, I would have trouble with that. But anyway, he does his mean tweet, or does his probably ill-considered tweet. Especially given where he works. Does his ill-considered tweet, gets a month off work unpaid, and that should be it, right? And we should all go back to talking about how Taylor Lorenz is a terrible writer, journalist of some sort of description. But yes, anyway, so Felicia Sonmez does not let up. Some of her colleagues begin to say, hey, stop fucking tweeting about us, please, for the love of God. Stop tweeting about us. You're making us look terrible in the public. Let's just take this internal. Management agrees and sends out a reminder to all staff to not disparage the Post. Like the social media policy is that, hey, don't disparage your employer in public. That's part of working here. Please stop. Alicia Sonmez, of course, does not stop. And she continues. So after the message goes out, lots of writers at the Post are probably compelled to tweet out that the Post is not perfect, blah blah blah. They all basically release identical hostage tweets. The Post is not perfect. No institution is. No institution is perfect, including the Post. The Post is a place that's always striving to be better. Like these very much read like you get to your fucking computer and send out a tweet that says we're fine right now. So yes, they do that. Felicia Sonmez is not having any part of it. So she says, but I do know that the reporters who issued synchronized tweets this week downplaying the Post's workplace issues have a few things in common with each other. They are white. They are among the highest paid employees in the newsroom, making double and even triple what some of the other national desk reporters are making. Probably her. Which is probably why she has a bit of a problem. They are among the stars who get away with murder. So yes, needless to say, this started to go poorly. So people at the Post were complaining that their sources don't want to talk about. So they call up their source to get information, and instead of getting information, they get to have a long conversation about what's going on at the Post and how amazing it is. So of course, this ended exactly the way it should. Washington Post fires reporter Felicia Sonmez after a week of feuding publicly with her colleagues.
Let them fight.
That's pretty much my opinion on that. These guys can tear each other apart for all I care. That paper is terrible. It's been terrible for a while. Yeah. It used to be the paper, one of the papers of record, but it's not anymore. And honestly, I hope it goes down in flames. It deserves it. So, yeah. Actually, this probably sums up my feeling on this particular response. Yeah. Okay, moving along. What have we got? From one dumpster fire to another. We've got this shit in the Chicago Sun-Times. What the hell?
Stop it. Get some help.
I don't know what possesses some columnists, opinion writers to write this shit. Like, I understand. Actually, no, I do understand. I understand that this kind of headline is there to invite this kind of response, this kind of what the fuck. And honestly, we've all discussed it before. The idea that that's where we're headed. That's the next thing. And yeah, get on the fucking wall. Now, this guy, I looked into his other stuff. He isn't anti-gun. He does think that there should be some. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? I don't think so. But you were allowed to type it, so I'm allowed to bring it up on screen. Yeah, and this fucking Jesus fuck, how many times are people going to incorrectly bring that up? Free speech does permit you to shout fire in a crowded theater. Oh, that's good. He actually included the context. During World War I, a pacifist was arrested for distributing leaflets claiming the draft was unconstitutional In upholding his conviction, Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes wrote, "The most stringent protection of free speech would not protect a man falsely shrouding fire in a theatre and causing panic." He was wrong. Oliver Wendell Holmes was wrong. And the Supreme Court disagreed. So yes, cheese pizza, I'm getting the fuck more. I think this guy played the Fox News card. Oh no, sometimes. I had a look at his. I had a look at his feed, and it was mostly the Fox News trolls. The Fox News has sent trolls to me. Oh. So yes, as always. Oh look, he retweets George Conway. No one should be shocked. Let's have a look at. Not a very strong chin. Anyway. Finally, last story. Fatties are mad. Fatties are mad. Why Sydney Sweeney's micro mini outfit feels like a threat to body positivity. So coveted, yet unachievable. That's not unachievable. It's obviously not unachievable. Of course, this Kerry Justice. Look, where are we? Search. Ooh. Oof. Let's see if I can find. Ooh. Oh. No, wait, that's not Hannah McCready. Yeah, so. Okay, yeah, I agree. It's unachievable for her. Absolutely unachievable for her. But it's not unachievable, obviously. Close tab. It's not unachievable because Sydney Sweeney's done it. I mean, she's got fantastic genes, but. And yes, so yeah, her flat stomach and micro mini skirt has triggered the wokes. As of course it would. Very, very attractive lady. So yes, I can understand why they would be triggered. I won't show you the photo, but Lena Dunham took a picture of herself in a bikini. So took a picture of herself in a bikini, and it was horrible. And people called it amazing, beautiful.
It's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was the opposite. It was the fucking opposite. That woman is thoroughly objectionable, as opposed to Sydney Sweeney, who's very, very attractive. And that was it. That was all I had. Oh no! I've run out of content. So yes, that was that's it. Hello, people. That's thank you for joining me on this first episode. I would like to have guests. But my computer just can't handle it right now. I am building a new machine. Hope to have guests in a week or so. Keep going. Keep going with what? I only had those stories. You want me to keep going? Jesus. I'll tell you, keep going. Just keep going. This is my next week. My next week is nothing but streams. I'm turning into Nick Recator. You're working, you need background noise. Mother. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to do. You need background noise. Okay, all right. Let's keep going. I guess I'll go for another half hour. But let me just close all these tabs because it'll kill my computer having that many open. Because I know you all love it. I know you all love it.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
So let's look at some Australian news then, shall we? Some news from this morning that I've had no time to prepare anything for. So yes, we have had a deputy premier in New South Wales. His name was John Barilaro. He was in Parliament for I think 10 years. So he resigned last year. Adios, John. So he and a YouTuber in Australia who goes by the name of Friendly Geordies, who is actually very funny. He's a political commentator, but he's also a comedian, does stand up, but with a political bent. So he made a video about John Barilaro, who he affectionately refers to as Bruz. And in that video, he makes some allegations about Mr. Barilaro. Now, I have to be careful here because I'm in Australia and thus subject to our draconian speech laws and draconian defamation laws. So, yes, Mr. Barilaro was upset at those allegations and decided to sue Mr. Jordan Shanks, who's Friendly Geordies, for defamation because he hurt his fifis. As our politicians tend to do a lot here, I don't know what it is. There's always been an idea that Australians are, tough and manly, rah, rah, rah. But our politicians, holy shit, talk about piss weak. So yes, our politicians are piss weak. They sue over tweets, YouTube videos. But yes, so Geordie settled. I think he paid $100,000 in costs and that was it, and gave him an apology, which I thought was bullshit, but he probably would have lost because defamation's very difficult to lose unless you've got no money. It's easy to win a defamation case in Australia if you've got enough money if you hire the right counsel, they know how to get it done in the federal court. And the federal court here is very easy to win defamation. So yeah, pro tip: don't get sued in Australia. But yes, anyway, so he sued not only Friendly Geordies, he also sued Google as a so he sued Google as well. Geordies came to an arrangement, paid $100,000 of costs, and made an apology. YouTube basically admitted fault, and there was a decision last week so there was a case that went for about 4 days, 4-day trial to determine how much YouTube would pay, and they came up with $700,000 over a series. So Google has to pay Mr. Barilaro $700,000 over a series of quote unquote racist and quote unquote abusive videos. I've seen these videos, and I can safely say that, in my opinion, if I were the target of those videos, I would not be offended. I would not think they are racist. Being of Italian descent, as Mr. Barilaro is, he contended that some references to to Italian heritage and, well, Italian epithets. I can never say that word. Anyway, Italian insults were racist. They are not. Italian is not a race. Human is a race. Italian is an ethnicity, but and I don't even think it's that. Like, it's Mediterranean is the ethnicity. But that's neither here nor there. It wasn't racist. It wasn't abusive. And if you and if I were to think that, I would think myself to be a giant pussy. Not that I'm saying that Mr. Barilaro is that. I'm saying that if I were in his position, responding in the way that he was, I would see myself as a giant pussy. So yes, he won $700,000 from Google last week. And he won this because the federal court ruled that Google became the publisher responsible for those videos when a lawyer for Mr. Barilaro wrote to Google to demand their removal, and Google did not remove them. So in Australia, you can be found to have published something if any lawyer sends you a letter and says, hey, take this down, and you don't do it. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty fucked up. Also, there's a case of a man who many of you may actually know, Avi Yemeni, a self-confessed Jewish Nazi who is suing an anonymous Twitter account for defaming him. I don't believe I saw the defamation. So you can just make racist and abusive videos with jokes on a burner channel, then sue Google in Australia. Is that what they really want? That kind of thing. This kind of decision, this kind of whole idea that not taking something down, so a negative action, or lack of action, is treated as an active action. I don't think that's actually fair. By not doing something, you're doing something. Let's see. I'm not a lawyer. But that seems counter to logic and maybe precedent. I'm sure there's something somewhere. Yeah, Geordie's got. I think Geordie's made $1 million in legal fees. I contributed to his legal fees. But I think the agreement was anything left over went to some koala charity, I think it was, which honestly the koalas need it. We've almost got those bastards. But yes, a guy called Avi Yemeni is suing Twitter to reveal, or he's suing an anonymous individual referred to as PR Guy 17. So this guy, throughout the pandemic, has basically been tweeting stuff about the unspecified illness of unknown origin. And so yes, he's been tweeting about the unspecified illness of unknown origin. And because of this, he has had a number of Twitter run-ins with said PR guy. And of course, he has had his fifis hurt, and because he's an anonymous person, he's suing. He's filed. So he's filed. I don't even know that he's filed a defamation action. He said he's going to file a defamation action, and by that, telling the court, "Oh, hey, I want to file a defamation action, but I don't know who this is, and I can't file the defamation action against an anonymous person." He said to the court said, "Yep, sure, here you go. Here's an order for Twitter to hand over these details." So I'll see if I can find the order. I found it yesterday. I found it last week. I thought, geez, that seems like bullshit. But this is the PR guy. It's Troy McClure, obviously. And I don't understand. Like, Avi Yemeni is obsessed with this guy, and I feel like he's going to end up looking like a dickhead. Well, sorry, he's going to end up looking like a giant dickhead, because Avi Yemeni already looks like a dickhead. But yeah, so he's going to end up looking worse. I don't think Twitter's going to hand it over. But if they do, the court has said that they have to hand over IP addresses. So the email they want the email address associated with the account. They want the IP addresses that were used, like the IP address that was used to create the account, and any other accounts on that IP address, like on the and accounts that have logged on from. Which I think is far, like, again, not a lawyer. Not a lawyer, but I watched some on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that's way, way, way too broad. And if I were Twitter, I would just say, federal court in Australia, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. But I don't think they will. I think Twitter now, maybe not. Because Avi Yemeni's at the at Rebel Media, and Rebel Media is what it is. I don't know that Twitter wokies will cooperate. I don't think they should. I think anonymity is important. Hence the fact that I'm a koala and my name is Thermalite. So, of course, anonymity is important. So yeah, I don't think they'll win. I don't think they should. Oh, by the way, subscribe if you're not already. So yeah, I don't think he'll win. I don't think Twitter will give him the information. I don't think they should. I think if they were to, that would set a dangerous precedent in Australia, and we already have enough of those. We have enough dangerous precedents in Australia. Do I have anything else? Suppose you want me to keep going, don't you? What else was there? Let's have a look at the Guardian. Who cares? What? Minute journalism. Secretive, adorable weirdos. Ah, yes, my American friends. See this? This is a possum. You don't have those. You have opossums. Scaly-tailed possums been caught in the Northern Territory for the first time in what scientists say is a sign that private land conservation is having a positive effect. Scaly-tailed possum, also known as Wiulda, is a rock-dwelling marsupial with stout limbs and a grippy tail it uses to hang from branches. Fancy. Oh, I'm going to have fun with this next week. Oh, screw you, Guardian. Oh, she's turned on Daddy. No, you guys literally took a fuck. It was. So yes, I'll be streaming this because, you know, I'm fucking stupid. So yeah, I'll be streaming the kangaroo court next week, which mercifully won't be going all day because that just happens to be it just happens to start at 10 a.m, which is unfortunately midnight for me. Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern is midnight for me, so I'll be up at midnight many nights. So my schedule is going to be screwed. Thankfully, I've taken some leave so that I can do this for you lovely people and entertain you with my voice and make fun of well, the January 6th committee. But yes, Ivanka didn't turn on Daddy. She answered a fucking question. And if Bill Barr told me something and I respected him, I would believe him. Which is exactly what she said. Tree change. Growing miracle berries to help cancer patients again. Warnings over Centrelink call centers as agency slashes contracts. What the teal wave mean for Victorians and the New South Wales state election? Probably nothing. We might get more independence. Is this fucking... I'll do it later. Alone. The federal poll decided upcoming elections in Australia's two biggest sites will be... Yeah, it's a fucking year away. It's a year away. Like, yeah, Victoria's election's in November, but ours is in March. Like, that's almost a full year away. These people are retarded. A useless story. 500... Ooh, this is good. Let's read this. $500 million pledge for faster rail services between Sydney and the Central Coast. That's not going to happen. We'll do it later. Go away! Oh. I'm like, why is this thing harassing me so? It's because I turned off my ad blocker. Because the videos for Guardian don't work otherwise. Run up to the moon, pledge 500 million for Commonwealth services. High-speed trains capable of travelling faster than 250 kilometres an hour could slash travel times between Sydney and Newcastle to 1 hour. Have these people seen the rail from Newcastle to Sydney? It's like a fucking snake. You would need to build a new straight corridor. They're not going to do that. That's going to cost way more than 500 million. A waste of time. Let's have a look at what Twitter's doing. Since y'all insist on me continuing to stream. No, I'm not looking at that. Fuck you, Ian Miles Chong. Guy has an agenda, and the agenda is money. He will say anything or do anything to take your money. Or to convince you to give him your money. He doesn't believe what he says. Oh, yes. Look at this one. Queer academic suggests pedophilia be taught in schools as an innate sexuality. Jesus. It's always an ethics professor. A professor of ethics at Oslo Metropolitan. Yeah, exactly. Straight on the wall. Yep, straight on the wall. The problem with ethics professors is they have to think about this stuff. This is literally their job. But you don't recommend it. Has called to legalize AI-generated child pornography. What the fuck? Could be seen as an innate. And see what they do. Oh, we'll start with this. We'll start with this. And then we'll move to this. And then once it's this, then we can get rid of this part. Because it's this. I hate this stuff. I really do. Because the slippery slope is a fallacy. It is a logical fallacy. This stuff lets people point and say, no, see, it's not a logical fallacy. It's not a logical fallacy. Here's that one time the slippery slope was real. Damn it! That's a yeah, okay. Oh god. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that. I'm done there. Boy. Salute to Colonel Schlichter. What else? Elon Musk getting into an argument about now. Ah, yes. What is a woman? What is a woman? I watched this. I would say I would encourage anybody who is interested in that to watch it. It's an interesting documentary. I enjoyed it. All these people are saying, oh, it's transphobic. It's transphobic. No, there's no transphobia in there. There's no calls for things to happen to transphobic people, like to trans people. There's no. It's just it's just asking questions. It's very I saw someone compare it to Roger and Me. If anybody saw anybody's seen the older I was watching it and I thought it's very much very Bowling for Columbine in that style, which is, look, Michael Moore's lost his mind, but he was a great documentarian in his day. So yes, can highly recommend Matt Taibbi, one of the few good journalists that are left. I wonder if we're institutionalizing stereotypes about gender in the same way academics have tried to institutionalize stereotypes about how hard work, being polite, punctuality, and the written word are white culture. I don't know if anybody remembers that aspects of white culture thing from a year or two ago. Aspects of white culture, white culture was from the Smithsonian. Found it. I don't want to see bullshit. Aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture in the United States. I don't know what possessed anybody to make this, but yeah. Like, these terrible things. These rugged individual terrible things that accentuate white culture, like rugged individualism, family structure, emphasis on scientific method. This is, no lie, this is the most racist shit I have read. Like, I remember at the time thinking, that is incredibly, like, you guys, this shit is racist. Like, this is flat out racist. Rugged individualism is a white trait? What? What is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with these people? Like, and this is the, like, what is it? The NMAIHC. That was the national, what was it? It was the National Museum for, yeah, it was the National Museum for African American History. Like, what? What the hell is wrong with you? Are you saying the nuclear family is not the ideal social unit for non-whites? That's what? Oh, you want the clip where you find someone to say, I think I've actually got it in my should be easy. I didn't like it.
You can choose your own gender.
Okay, well now we have an.
How do we get from this to
So
you can choose your own gender?
this
Okay, well now we.
this woman was one of the
very important character.
she came across
His
very
name was
very
John
good
Money.
in the
John Money was a psychologist and professor at Johns Hopkins University. Gender ideology was his brainchild. In fact, he coined the terms gender identity and gender roles. And according to Money, babies are gender neutral at birth. And ultimately, environment determines whether a person is a man or a woman.
Money was telling the world about his theory that a boy could be raised as a girl and do just fine, and vice versa.
I doubt it.
How do we get from this?
I hate how Twitter loops every time. It's really annoying. Who tweeted it? I saw it this morning. It's ridiculous. Scroll that far back. But yeah, that clip's hilarious. Where he's talking to the obviously trans woman. God, I get so confused. Yeah, he's talking to the obviously trans woman / man, whatever the appropriate term is. He's talking to the obviously trans person, and they're saying, "Oh, look, if you're not a woman, you can't possibly comment on what a woman is." You're spot on, Costi. It was in the Discord. Uno momento. Oh man, I might have to scroll back far. No, I can't find it. Somebody sent it to me on Discord. And I'll play it. But yeah, he asked the obviously trans person that if only a woman can define what a woman is. He asked them, "Are you a cat?" And they say no. And then he asked them, "Well, what is a cat?" And they think for a minute, and then say, "Oh, I've obviously made a mistake," and then walks off. It's gold. It's brilliant. Geez, if I go any longer, I'll be able to watch Flashcast. Nobody should watch Flashcast. Oh, it's the March for Our Lives. I don't know what the March for Our Lives is. Is it? I thought is it a pro-life march or is it a anti-gun march? Like what the hell is it? Let's see, March for Our Lives. Enough isn't. It's an anti-gun rally. Okay, right. That makes sense. Because I saw a clip on YouTube. You want me to stream Flashcast? I would have to be here for another, 5 hours. And I would like to have lunch and finish my drink. But I can't drink because I don't have a straw. Blah, blah, blah. Lol, no. Maybe next week. The idea is to replace Flashcast, not watch Flashcast. I don't want to subject people to Flashcast. It might actually be good this week. There's no Flash. God has deigned to give Flash a cold, so there'll be no Flash on Flashcasts over on Tug's channel. Get rid of that racist bullshit. Why is it why is it the lefties have become the real racists? Like, it really is mind-blowing. Is that a case of becoming the thing you hate the most? Or are they just always like... Oh, this is fantastic. I saw this earlier. And Taylor Lorenz. Not to be that person. Lol. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's why Hassan was going to that rally. Because it's an anti-gun rally. Anyway, so Elon taking more red pills. We're simultaneously being told that gender differences do not exist and that genders are so profoundly different that irreversible surgery is the only option. Perhaps someone wiser than me can explain this dichotomy. Ooh, you're about to get shit explained to you by people who know nothing. Oh, I just started following Camelot on Twitter, and I swear to God, every time I open Twitter now, it's just Camelot with a shirt off. I assume his channel is mostly that as well. And look, if I was built like Camelot, I'd do that every day too. They went 9 hours. 9 hours and 35 minutes, hey? 100,000 views. Legal Bites is 243,000 subs. Was she at 250 the other day? What happened there? Don't seem to recall. I haven't had a chance to use all my clips yet. I have so many good clips.
Why are you gay?
Shut your fucking mouth!
You personally like that.
How did I get personal? Bitch!
I love that clip. Really just, it really just, really does show what a rage pig that guy is. Private tabs in this window, or I'll have to reshare or sign out of Twitter. Oh, I can use Knitter, can't I? Knitter.net / the Ralph retort. Let's see what the rage piggy's raging about today. I close it. Oh, the edge is a pain in it. Got on his plate. What have we got here? What is that? What kind of restaurant? Like a... They must be at a Mexican restaurant. Went to this Mexican place nearby. Whatever. Fans will enjoy that. Oh, of course, flamenco. How can we forget that dumpster fire? Oh my God. Jesus. Apparently it's really bad. Full peanut yard. Farmers base. Oh God, this guy's obsessed with kiwi farms, man. Can he even afford to gamble? $300. That's like a half a week's wages for him. I've seen his streams. That's all I can handle. All right. I need to go and eat because it's lunchtime. I won't be streaming Flashcast. Maybe next week. So thank you all for coming and getting me some more watch time. So I'll see you all next week around about the same time. Peace.